Have you ever heard of a book that writes back to you? Three friends went hiking in the forest and found an old diary buried under the leaves. At first, they thought it was just an abandoned journal, until the pages started filling with words on their own. The diary knew their names, it knew their secrets, and it warned them never to go deeper into the woods. But they didn't listen. What happened next will chill you to the bone. It was late afternoon when three college friends decided to go hiking in the woods. The forest was quiet, filled only with the sound of dry leaves crunching under their shoes. The sun was slowly setting, painting the trees in golden light. Daniel, the curious one, walked ahead of his friends Mia and Oliver, searching the ground as if looking for treasure. Suddenly, Daniel stopped near a giant tree stump. Something half buried in the soil caught his eye. He bent down and pulled out an old, dusty leather diary. Its cover was dark brown, almost black, and strange symbols were scratched into the surface. A rusty lock dangled from it. But the moment Daniel touched it, the lock snapped open on its own, as if it had been waiting for him. "Hey, look at this!" Daniel shouted. Mia stepped closer, brushing dirt off the cover. "It looks ancient," she whispered. Oliver laughed. "It's just some old book. Maybe a hunter dropped it." But the diary didn't feel ordinary. The leather was cold, even though the sun was warm. The pages were yellow and brittle. Yet when Daniel flipped them, they seemed strangely alive, like the paper breathed. Most of the pages were blank, but the last one held a faint red stain, almost like dried blood. Mia felt uneasy. Daniel put it back. "It doesn't feel right." But Daniel shook his head. "Come on, it's just a diary. Maybe it has secrets inside." He slipped it into his backpack, ignoring the heavy silence that suddenly hung in the air. The wind picked up, shaking the trees above them. The forest, which just moments ago felt peaceful, now seemed darker, colder. None of them noticed the faint letters slowly appearing on the first blank page. Words that hadn't been there a moment ago, spelling out a single chilling line. "Hello, Daniel." That night, Daniel sat alone in his bedroom. The diary he had found in the woods lay on his desk, looking darker than before. The strange symbols on its cover almost seemed to move in the dim lamplight. He had planned to throw it aside, but curiosity kept pulling him back. Slowly, Daniel opened the diary. Most pages were still blank, but his eyes widened when he saw fresh black handwriting spread across the first page. Handwriting that hadn't been there in the woods. The letters curled like spider legs across the paper. "Hello, Daniel." Daniel froze. His hands shook as he flipped through the book, but every other page was empty. He shut the diary quickly and pushed it away. "No way. I'm imagining this," he muttered. He took a deep breath, opened the book again. This time, another sentence had appeared. "Why did you take me from my home?" Daniel's heart pounded. "What the hell?" he whispered. He grabbed a pen almost against his will and wrote shakily under the words. "Who are you?" For a moment nothing happened. Then the ink from his pen melted into the page and vanished completely, as if the diary had swallowed his words. Daniel's jaw dropped. Seconds later, new words appeared in messy handwriting. "I am still here." Daniel pushed back from his desk so hard that his chair screeched against the floor. His breathing quickened. He thought about throwing the diary into the trash, but something about the words kept him rooted in place. It wasn't just writing. It felt like something alive was inside the book, waiting, watching. The room grew colder. The bulb above him flickered once. His reflection in the window seemed darker, shadowed, like someone was standing behind him. Daniel forced himself to look back, but the room was empty. When he turned to the diary again, another line had appeared, written in red this time. "Don't tell Mia and Oliver. They won't believe you." Daniel's skin crawled. The diary didn't just know his name, it knew his friends too. The next day, Daniel carried the diary with him to campus, his backpack feeling heavier than usual. He hadn't slept much. The words from last night kept echoing in his head. "I am still here." At lunch, he finally broke his silence. Sitting with Mia and Oliver under a big oak tree, Daniel pulled the diary out. "You guys, I need to show you something," he said, his voice low. Oliver chuckled. What is it? Another one of your spooky stories. Daniel ignored the joke and opened the diary. The first page was blank. His heart sank. Wait, no, it was here last night. He flipped quickly, but all the pages looked empty. Mia gave him a worried look. Daniel, are you okay? Just then, right before their eyes, black letters began to form on the paper, as if written by invisible hands. The three of them froze in silence. Slowly the words appeared. Why are you in my woods? Mia gasped and covered her mouth. Oliver's smirk disappeared instantly. What the hell, you're not writing that, are you? He asked, staring at Daniel's hands. I swear I'm not. Daniel's voice cracked. The ink on the page seemed to bleed deeper, like the diary was angry. Another line appeared, faster this time, almost scratched into the paper. You shouldn't be here. Mia's hands trembled. She slammed the diary shut. Daniel, throw it away. This is not normal. This is evil. Oliver tried to laugh again, but it came out weak. It's just some kind of trick, right? Some hidden ink. But his voice betrayed his fear. Daniel shook his head. Last night it wrote my name. It told me not to tell you too. The three of them sat frozen under the oak tree, the diary heavy between them. The air around them felt colder, the breeze sharper. Oliver forced a grin, trying to break the tension. Fine, if this diary is alive, then let's ask it something. He pulled out a pen and wrote. Who are you? The words sank into the paper and vanished. For a moment, nothing happened. Then slowly 3 chilling words appeared in jagged red handwriting. I am watching. For a long moment, the 3 friends stared at the red words that had appeared inside the diary. I am watching. Oliver swallowed hard, then forced a laugh. Okay, this is creepy, but maybe it's just some kind of prank. Like invisible ink, or some old magician's trick. His voice shook, but he kept smiling. Mia shook her head. No, Oliver. That's not a prank. Books don't just write people's names by themselves. Her eyes darted around the campus lawn, as if someone was spying on them right then. Daniel's hands were sweaty as he closed the diary. It knows too much. It warned me last night not to tell you both. Oliver leaned closer. So what? It's just words. Maybe someone hid in the woods and, I don't know, set this thing up to scare people. Come on, don't you want to know what happens if we push it? Mia glared at him. Push it? Are you insane? It already told us we don't belong in the woods. That's a warning, Oliver. But Oliver grinned, even though his grin looked shaky. Exactly. Which means the answer is in the forest. Let's go back there tonight and see for ourselves. Daniel shook his head immediately. No. I'm not going deeper. That shack alone gave me nightmares. Mia agreed. We should burn the diary, not follow it. Oliver rolled his eyes. Oh please, you two sound like kids. Think about it. It's just a diary, and we're letting it scare us. Tonight, let's go deeper, find whatever this thing is and prove it's nothing. What's the worst that could happen? Before Daniel or Mia could answer, the diary, still shut in Daniel's hands, began to vibrate softly, like a heartbeat. He opened it without meaning to. A single new line had appeared on the page, written in dripping ink. Come deeper if you dare. The wind picked up suddenly, scattering leaves across the grass. Mia grabbed Daniel's arm. Don't listen to it, she whispered. But Oliver's eyes lit up with reckless excitement. Too late. We're going tonight. Night fell quickly, and the forest looked nothing like it had during the day. The trees loomed taller, their twisted branches reaching out like black claws against the moonlight. Daniel, Mia, and Oliver stepped off the dirt path and pushed deeper into the woods, their flashlights cutting through the fog. Daniel carried the diary in his backpack. The closer they moved into the forest, the heavier it seemed to become, as if the book didn't want to be carried any further. Mia whispered nervously, I don't like this. The diary told us not to come here. Oliver smirked, walking ahead. It's just a book. You two are letting it get inside your heads. Look around. There's nothing here except trees and dirt. But then, Daniel felt a faint movement inside his bag. He froze, pulled the diary out, and opened it under his flashlight. His stomach twisted. New words appeared across the page, written in frantic strokes. Turn back now. You are not safe. Mia grabbed Daniel's hand. See? It doesn't want us here. Please, let's leave before it's too late. But Oliver shook his head. Or maybe, it doesn't want us to discover the truth. Did you ever think of that? Warnings just make me want to keep going. The diary flipped a few pages on its own, the paper crackling loudly in the silent woods. Daniel and Mia both jumped. On the next page, large black letters formed quickly, as though carved with invisible claws. He is waiting. Daniel's throat went dry. Who's waiting? He whispered. Oliver grinned. Maybe we're about to find out. He pushed deeper between the trees without hesitation. Daniel and Mia exchanged a terrified look, but they followed. The forest grew colder, the wind sharper. Every step sounded louder, as if the ground itself was warning them to turn back. Then in the distance, a shadowy shape of an old wooden shack appeared between the trees, standing in silence, waiting for them. The three friends stood frozen as their flashlights landed on the shape ahead. An old wooden shack leaned crookedly between the trees, its roof half collapsed, its walls covered in moss. The place looked abandoned for decades, yet a strange chill pulsed from it, as though the shack itself was breathing. Mia whispered, her voice trembling. We shouldn't go in there. But Oliver was already moving forward, grinning nervously. This is it. This is where the diary wanted us to come. Daniel pulled the book out of his bag. His flashlight beam trembled as he shined it across the open pages. New words appeared slowly, each one scratching itself across the paper. Don't step inside. This is where I died. Daniel's chest tightened. Oliver, stop. It's warning us. Oliver laughed, though his voice cracked. A book can't kill us. You two are too scared. He pushed the broken door, and it groaned open with a scream of rusted hinges. The air inside was freezing cold, so cold that their breath fogged instantly. The smell of wet wood and something rotten drifted out. Daniel hesitated at the doorway, clutching the diary tight. His flashlight revealed a small, broken table at the center of the shack. On top of it lay torn pages, yellowed with age, scattered everywhere. He bent closer and realized the pages looked exactly like the ones from the diary. Same symbols, same faint red stains. Mia covered her mouth in horror. Daniel, those are from the same book. Suddenly, the diary in Daniel's hands snapped open violently. The pages flipped on their own, faster and faster until they stopped. A new message bled across the paper in thick red ink. You woke me up. The shack door slammed shut behind them, sealing them inside. Their flashlights flickered, the beams shaking across the rotting walls. From the far corner of the shack, in the shadows, something moved. A long, stretched silhouette detached itself from the darkness, slowly rising. Mia's voice cracked as she whispered, "We're not alone in here." The air inside the shack grew colder with every second. Daniel's flashlight flickered, casting shaky beams across the broken wooden walls. The shadow in the corner stretched unnaturally, like it didn't belong to anything human. Mia clutched Daniel's arm, her voice trembling. Do you see that? Before Daniel could answer, the diary in his hands trembled violently, its pages flipping as though blown by a storm. It stopped on a page, and in thick black ink, words scratched themselves in jagged strokes. You shouldn't have come here. Oliver swallowed hard, his fake bravado fading. This isn't funny anymore. Suddenly the shadow shifted. Two hollow eyes, glowing faintly white, blinked open in the darkness. The figure crouched low, its limbs too long, its movements slow, deliberate, watching. Mia let out a scream and stumbled back against the wall. Daniel tried to shine the flashlight directly on the figure, but the beam seemed to pass right through it, as if the thing wasn't fully solid. Then the diary wrote again on its own, the letters almost carved into the paper. You woke me. Now you can't leave. The shack groaned as if alive. The rotten wood creaked, and the air turned heavy, pressing down on their chests. Daniel's hand shook so badly he almost dropped the diary. Open the door. Mia shouted. Oliver rushed to the door and yanked hard, but it wouldn't budge. The rusty hinges rattled, nailed shut by an unseen force. The shadow figure moved closer, its body stretching unnaturally tall, its head tilting at a sharp, impossible angle. With every step, the temperature dropped further, their breath clouding the air. Oliver banged on the door in panic. "It won't open. It won't." He froze mid-sentence as the figure glided within feet of him, its face still hidden in darkness. The diary's pages flipped wildly, stopping on a single chilling line scrawled in red. "One by one, you will belong to me." Mia sobbed, clutching Daniel's sleeve. The shadow's eyes burned brighter, staring at them with hunger. And then it began to move faster. The shack shook as if a storm had hit it, though outside the night was silent. The shadow lunged forward, and Daniel screamed, dragging Mia with him. Oliver threw his shoulder into the door one last time. This time it cracked open, splintering off its frame. All three of them stumbled into the night air, gasping for breath. The forest was darker than before. The moon hid behind heavy clouds, and the trees seemed to close in around them. They ran, flashlights bouncing wildly, branches clawing at their clothes. Behind them, the shack groaned, and the sound of heavy footsteps followed, though nothing was visible. Daniel clutched the diary against his chest as it shook violently, its pages flipping in the wind. Words scratched themselves across the open pages while he ran. "Closer! Closer! I can taste you!" Mia cried out. "It's following us. It's right behind us." But when Daniel dared to look back, he saw only shifting shadows, tall, twisted shapes moving between the trees. Every time he blinked, the shadow seemed closer. Oliver tripped over a root and fell hard, scraping his hands. "Go. Don't stop for me," he shouted. But Mia and Daniel pulled him up, refusing to leave him behind. The diary flipped again. A new line appeared in dripping red. "Run if you want. The woods are mine." Suddenly, whispers filled the air, low voices, dozens of them, circling the group from all directions. The voices spoke in broken words, chanting their names over and over. "Daniel. Mia. Oliver." Mia covered her ears and screamed. "Make it stop." Branches snapped somewhere close, too close. The sound of footsteps came from the left, then the right, then ahead, until it felt like the forest itself was alive, hunting them. They finally burst into a small clearing, their breaths ragged. For a moment, the whispers stopped. The silence was worse than the noise. Daniel dared to glance at the diary again. His blood ran cold as he read the newest message scrawled across both pages. "You can't escape me." And then, from the darkness at the edge of the clearing, something began to crawl out of the trees. The clearing felt like a trap. The fog thickened, curling around their legs, and the air grew heavy with the stench of rot. From the tree-line, something crawled into view, long arms dragging across the ground, its body jerking unnaturally like a broken puppet. Its hollow eyes glowed faintly white, never blinking. Mia grabbed Daniel's arm. We can't outrun it." Her voice shook. The diary in Daniel's hands snapped open, the pages flapping like wings. The ink poured across the paper on its own, forming words faster than Daniel could read. He held the flashlight closer, his heart pounding as the message appeared. "Only one of you can leave." Daniel's throat tightened. "What does that mean?" he whispered. The diary wrote again, darker this time, the words digging into the page. "Give me one, and I will let the others go." Oliver's face turned pale. It wants a sacrifice." Mia shook her head violently. "No. Don't listen to it. It's lying, Daniel." But the shadow creature stepped closer, dragging itself into the clearing, its head tilted unnaturally. The ground seemed to tremble under its weight. Daniel flipped the diary again, desperate for another answer. New words appeared, this time in red. "Choose, or all of you will stay." The three friends stood frozen, their breaths coming fast. Mia's eyes filled with tears as she clutched Daniel's sleeve. "Please don't write anything. Don't give it what it wants." Oliver's panic boiled over. "No. If we don't choose, it takes all of us." His hands shook as he reached for the diary. "Oliver, stop!" Daniel shouted. But Oliver ripped the diary out of Daniel's grip, pulled a pen from his pocket, and in a trembling hand, wrote a name. Daniels. The diary's pages glowed, the ink sinking deep into the paper. The shadow creature let out a low, guttural hiss that echoed through the clearing. Daniel's body went rigid. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. Mia reached for him in horror, shouting his name. And then Daniel vanished. Mia fell to her knees, her scream echoing through the dark clearing. One moment Daniel had been there, alive, terrified, and the next he was gone, swallowed by the shadows as if he had never existed. The spot where he stood was empty, cold and silent. Oliver dropped the diary, his hands trembling. I saved us. I had no choice. His voice cracked, his face pale. Mia spun on him, eyes burning with rage and grief. You killed him. You let that thing take him. Tears streamed down her face, but before Oliver could answer, the diary opened again by itself. The pages glowed faintly, and fresh words bled across them in jagged strokes. Daniel belongs to me. Mia's breath caught in her throat as more words appeared beneath it. Now who is next? Oliver staggered backward. No, it's over. I gave it a name. It should be over. His voice trembled like a child's. But the shadow creature still lingered at the edge of the clearing, its glowing eyes fixed on them. The wind howled through the trees, and the ground shivered beneath their feet. The diary's pages flipped furiously, as if laughing. Mia grabbed the book in desperation, slamming it shut. We need to destroy it. She tried to rip the leather cover apart, but it wouldn't tear. She threw it to the ground and stomped on it, but the diary only pulsed like a heartbeat beneath her foot. Oliver picked it up again, shaking his head. It won't let us go, not unless it takes us all. The diary wrote its final message across the last page, the letters so dark they bled through the paper. The woods are mine. You cannot escape me. The shadow lunged forward, its form stretching across the clearing. Mia's scream pierced the night. Then everything went black. When the forest fell silent again, the diary lay untouched in the clearing, its cover closed, waiting patiently for someone else to open it. The last page inside carried one chilling line. Who's next?